Once upon a time, there was a man named Robert Hooke. Now, when Hooke was younger and a little less dead, he looked at a piece of cork through a microscope. While looking at the cork, he noticed little rooms and decided to call them cells. Many years later, a man named Anton van Leeuwenhoek decided he would pick at his teeth a bit and see what was on them. While looking under the microscope, he witnessed living cells and decided to name them wee beasties. Maybe it's because they look like monsters. Now, continuing down the timeline, there were three more scientists, Schleiden, Schwann, and Virchow. Schleiden stated that all plants and plant parts are made of cells. Schwann stated that all animal and animal parts are made of cells. And Virchow stated that all existing cells come from pre-existing cells. Now, the cell is the fundamental unit of structure and function in living things. All living things are composed of cells, and cells come from pre-existing cells. Together, the cell theory was formed. Now, there are two categories of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Now, the eukaryotic cell has a nucleus, a membrane-bound organelle, animal and plant cells, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulums, mitochondria, many chromosomes, DNA wrapping, large ribosomes, cell wall in plant cells, but both of them contain vacuoles. Now, in the prokaryotic cell, it holds small ribosomes, bacteria, blue-green algae, and one chromosome. There are also two types of cells, plant cells and animal cells. The animal cell is round with one or more vacuoles, centrioles, and lysosomes. The plant cell has a cell wall, it's rectangular, large vacuole, and chloroplast. Both of them contain cytoplasm, an endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, nucleus, and a cell membrane. Now, think of a cell sort of like a castle. If it were a plant cell, the castle's moat would be considered the cell wall. It protects the people inside and also supplies and supports the people with water. Now, the castle wall itself would be considered the cell membrane. It controls who or what enters or leaves the building. The kitchen staff supplies food, which in turn gives the people energy, much like the mitochondria producing energy for the cell. The freezer or storage room would be much like the vacuole, storing food, proteins, water, and waste. The castle's gardens would be similar to the chloroplast, converting light energy into chemical energy, helping to make herbs and medicines for the occupants. The kings and queens would be similar to the centriole. They reproduce the next generation of kings and queens, much like cell division in animal cells. Majority of the workers inside the castle would be considered the Golgi apparatus, packaging and shipping the things they buy or make. The craftsmen working with wood and tools would be considered the ribosomes of the castle. The craftsmen work to make things the people living inside would need, much like ribosomes make protein. The workshop would be similar to the endoplasmic reticulum, where things and proteins are transported. Similar to how the endoplasmic reticulum houses ribosomes and is the site of protein manufacturing, the workshop houses craftsmen. The throne rooms in the kings, if a kingdom, or queens, if a queendom, would be the nucleus, making decisions and controlling all activity inside. Without the workers, craftsmen, queens, moats, walls, and many other things, the castle would not be able to function. All of the people living inside the castle would no longer have a home, order would be thrown off balance, and enemies would be able to attack and destroy what little is left of the castle. The castle wouldn't function without all of its proper parts, just like the animals and plants cannot function without cells, and in turn the cells could not function without all of its proper organelles. So I think it's a good thing Hooke, Anton, Schleiden, Schwann, and Virchow were curious. We would never know all of this if it weren't for them. The end.